The Daily Ramble on Claret and Booze. Good morning and welcome to the Daily Ramble here on Claret and Booze. My name's Gary and this is my Daily Ramble where I'm going to expose the link between all of these dissenters that we've seen on the media lately. I was a Pierce, Allardyce, Pardew, the lot, right? But, you know, in the meantime, we've got, before then, we've got a very big game tonight and I'm going to talk about that. Please like and subscribe to the channel Claret and Booze on YouTube and let's talk about the game. So the German champions come to London town tonight, trophy in hand after slaughtering Werder Bremen. After making 7 changes, actually, they slaughtered them 5-0 at the weekend to sneak the title. Unbeaten in 43 games. They come to the London Stadium. Everywhere they play, there's this thing going on about, oh, can we be the ones to stop them? So, you know, I don't read too much into that. You know, people saying, oh, it'd be just like West Ham to do that. Yeah, and it would. And wouldn't it be fantastic? But I just don't see it coming, to be honest. It's sellout, I believe, tonight because they sold these tickets weeks ago, and it's a big game, right? Quite expensive as well. Quite expensive, these tickets. So, David Moyes in his presser alluded to a cautious approach, which would be, to my mind, completely the wrong idea. Because I think with our defence, which is a bit shoddy, you got to be honest, it's a bit shoddy. We've only kept 2 clean sheets this year. So why would you invite another team, a good team, to come and attack you like we did last week? Inevitably, they're going to score. So so doing that, he kind of said that, well, it took them until the 83rd minute last week, so you've got to be patient. And I think he was saying, oh, we could do the same to them. Well, you know, there's a couple of factors. They swapped their team around pretty much. They used all the squad. They got a completely fit squad. They made 7 changes at the weekend. They're going to be fresh. By the time the second half comes with us, we're going to be flagging again. So with us, it's either hit them early and get a goal and put pressure on them, or, to my mind, nothing. That's the only way. Attack is definitely the best form of defence with us because it keeps the focus away from our defence, right? If we had a rock-solid back line, an impregnable fortress, then maybe you'd say, yeah, it might be a workable idea, but it ain't. It isn't. So let's just have a quick look at the formation. So there's a few things he could do tonight. He's got options. I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest, but there are 3, the way I see it, 3 potential ways that he could line up. So this is the first one. And this is, you know, where he brings in Ben Johnson at left back for Emerson, and he plays Alvarez and Souček in the middle, and he pushes James Ward-Prowse up top. So he would be closing down. And we know, you know, he's been largely ineffective, James Ward-Prowse, but at one time, a few games he has been effective was when he was pushing from the front and closing the opposition down, denying them time on the ball. It was kind of an assistant to the front players, right? But I think that was when Antonio was not in the side, because I think Moyes will see that as Antonio's job. That is the primary role of a striker in Moyes' team. So so anyway, that would be quite an attacking formation that I'd be happy with. It's probably the best that we've got, in my opinion. Now, you know, if we go forward to the next one, this is where I think he could really fuck up. And that is, he keeps James Ward-Prowse in the centre of midfield. Now, nobody wants to see this. And the reason it would be a fuck up compared to last week is because he's in there alongside Alvarez and Souček. He's just not needed. He's just going to get in the way. And to be honest, in this formation, James Ward-Prowse is a spare part. He'll be playing wide left. He'll be peripheral to the action. And also what I've put in here is Cresswell playing as left back. Because I do still think that Moyes operates this squad seniority system, and Cresswell, this is, you know, perhaps the most likely formation as far as I can see. Maybe not 4-3-3, a bit too aggressive for Moyes, but a 4-2-3-1 with this combination of players, but they'll end up in this sort of position anyway. But Cresswell up against Frimpong puts the fear of the fear of God into me. I've got to be honest. He doesn't cope with pace. He doesn't, and I think as part of a back three, he's more or less shielded. He's not exposed, right? Emerson is a big game player, and last week he showed his quality as a big game player, and he stopped Frimpong from. He didn't once have a run on him and get past him, right? So we don't have that quality this week. And the final, probably, if I was inside Moyes' head, this is what I'd be thinking: a back five, stick with a back five because it worked last week. Ben Johnson wide left, Cresswell as part of a three with Agüed and Zuma, Sufal on the right, closely in front of them. Shielding that back five is a four of Kudus one side, Bowen the other, Alvarez and Souček in the middle with Antonio. A solo lone role with no service up front, right? I got to say, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. So I think they're the three main options. But how the game's going to play out, I think if you look at Leverkusen, they don't panic when they go 1-0 down. If we hit them early and we get a goal, we give ourselves a little chance, a little bit of hope, right? Because then you're only one goal behind, and they are just human beings. They're a football team. We don't have our full team out. That's a bit of a problem. But their mentality is a mentality of champions, right? We saw it with Karabag in the last round, they never panic. They're danger right the way up to the end. They are going to bring on game-changing substitutes, right? And an atmosphere at the London Stadium. I mean, I'm not being unkind, but even if the London Stadium's noisy, it's not going to be Frankfurt, is it? They're used to playing in big atmospheres. These are big players used to playing in big atmospheres, and they perform. So I think what we need is a bit of a miracle, right? We need a bit of a miracle, a big slice of luck. Something's got to happen. Maybe a ball going off someone's arse, a lucky penalty, a sending off, something like that. But again, it's football. Things do happen. So I'm going to go there tonight with hope and my laptop, sadly, because I've got to go up to the city again. Never taken my laptop to football before. Don't know how that's going to work out. I think if we were to turn it around and win, my laptop might end up getting smashed. We'll see. Right. So back to the main thrust of this video. Now, over the last several weeks, we've seen all sorts of people come out and talk on behalf of David Moyes, give him a character reference. So from Harry Redknapp, Alan Pardew. Now, you wouldn't expect them to say anything critical about West Ham fans. And I don't think they did, if you listen to their words, but what they did do was absolutely stick up for David Moyes and what a fabulous job he's done there at the football club. And it's all bullshit. Today there was an article written as well saying he's done a phenomenal job, and I'll come back to that word. Phenomenal is a big word. It means exceptional. It means above and beyond. And I don't think Moyes has delivered above and beyond when you consider the kind of players he's had, the kind of resources he's had at his fingertips. Right? I think acceptable or moderate would more be the correct appraisal. So who else has been talking? Alan Kirbishley has spoken as well. And these are just the ex-West Ham people. But this week we've seen, we've heard from Ray Parlour. Ray Parlour has been jabbering on in over several weeks. Alan Brazil, Ali McCoist, Scottish. Maybe you'd expect that. Sam Allardyce and Stuart Pearce this week in a piss-taking interview where they demeaned everything that is great to us, that means a lot to us, which is really disappointing for the likes of Stuart Pearce, to be honest. If anyone should know about football passion, the way he was as a player, it should be him, right? And he's also a working class lad who when he joined Nottingham Forest, when Brian Clough signed him on as a professional, he didn't think it would last. And so he was a qualified electrician. He had an advert in the local Nottingham paper, still advertising and going and doing electrical work in the evening. That's what kind of hardcore working class lad he is. And so I find it particularly disappointing from him. With Sam, it's kind of what you expect. But I think I'm sure I've uncovered what links them all together. And I've been looking into this. And one thing they all, every single person, ex-professional, ex-manager, radio presenter, journalist, pundit, the one thing all these people have in common is they are all members of the same after dinner speaking network, right? Which is where that's the cash cow for a lot of these people when they no longer have a day job, right? That's where they go. Somebody like Allardyce, they can go along and get paid, depending on what they want them to talk about, 5 to 10 grand in an evening. Stuart Pearce is medium profile, probably 3 or 4 grand. Ray Parlour, I think 2 grand he goes for. Another one in there is Tony Cottee, another one that's been sticking up for Moyes, right? Now, I don't blame them for, I do blame the likes of Allardyce because he's a very rich man already. Lots of these people are very rich. Others, not so much. And I know Tony Cottee's in that boat as well, right? So to them, I think it's a means to an end in that you're not gonna speak badly amongst your peers who you're on the same after dinner speaking circuit with, are you? Because you could get dropped. Now, the favourite one for me is one called Champions Football UK PLC. Right now, if you look on their website for after dinner speakers, you will find literally everybody who's been demeaning about West Ham recently, right? And that's really worrying because I think they're selling their soul. They're selling their soul. They don't have to say the things they said, and that's where Allardyce, Pardew didn't cross the line, Redknapp didn't cross the line. Redknapp loves West Ham. He always will do. So he won't go as far as to have a go at the fans. Cottee didn't have a go at the fans either. He just supported his mate, right? Might not even be his mate. He's a colleague. But you can't undermine your colleague because you undermine them. You undermine Moyes' future earnings on the after-dinner circuit. Because let's face it, that's all he's going to have in a couple of weeks' time. Unless Everton take pity on him. Or Celtic. But that is what it is. I don't blame them for earning money. Everyone's got to earn a living, and that's fine by me. But what does bother me is when they go a step too far. And there was no need for Stuart Pearce. And I watched Jazz's video on West Ham Iron's channel this morning. It's very good, actually. He unlike me, he managed to sit through the whole thing and had some really good comments on it. And I think in Pearce's case, it's a case of him keeping the door open, first of all, for another football job. Allardyce always keeping the door open for another football job, so that's one reason why they won't do it. The other reason, though, this is how they're getting paid at the moment. I mean, do you think that Pearce's little job on TalkSport is going to pay very much? No, it's not. He pops in there for a few hours every now and then, gives some comments. It's like these are just part-time mini engagements that they do. The after-dinner circuit is lucrative, especially in the corporate world, and so they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them, and I get that, but you don't cross the line. And Pearce, he didn't only cross the line, he fucking leapt over it, right? He first of all started taking the piss about the trophies that we've got on that embarrassing Arsenal-like band around the on the wall up there. He said, "Oh, we've only won three trophies." Well, and the West Ham way doesn't exist and all this sort of stuff. And look, that's been debunked by other channels. I don't need to add my views to that other than to say it's utter bullshit. And I'm surprised by an ex-player, especially a Londoner who knows what passion means when it comes to football, would say those kind of things and alienate West Ham fans, good West Ham fans who have supported him, encouraged him over the years. He played for us. He and he was brave as a lion. He got massive support from the West Ham fans. And I'm really surprised that he has turned on us because he didn't need to say that. I don't know whether when they go on that podcast, it's kind of a similar thing. They used to have an arrangement, especially Harry Redknapp, it's known as rent a quote, right? Because every time they shoved the fucking microphone under his nose, he'd say something that they could make an article out of. And I think what Stuart Pearce and Allardyce have done there is they've gone, it's like rent a quote on acid, right? They've given the people, anti-West Ham people who don't rate West Ham, think we're too Bob, they've given them so much material to repeat all over the media. And and it's disgusting, absolutely fucking disgusting. I expect no more of Sam Allardyce, but I do fucking expect more from Stuart Pearce. Very disappointed in him. One good thing that's happened this week, before I come to the, I think you can probably guess already, the pricks of the week, is that Arsenal have choked. They've blown up. It's all gone wrong. They've lost the league and the Champions League in a week. They've turned on Rice. They want Arteta out in a week, right? Now, Declan Rice, I know it was big money and your dad earned out of it and everything else. Great, right? We know there was no loyalty there. Definitely no loyalty to West Ham. You know, loyalty is not just words, right? And when you love a club, you show it through your actions. And going and joining Arsenal is showing that you never loved West Ham. You're paying us lip service. Well, we loved you, right? We would let you get away with bad performances. We wouldn't pick you up on it because we knew you were a class player, right? That is us. We're patient. We're patient. Not with Moyes, but we're patient with you. And that goes for any good player. Any good player who gives their heart and soul for West Ham. They don't have to be the profile of Declan Rice. We all loved Craig Dawson, for instance. But I hope now Declan Rice is waking up this morning, reading his social media, and suddenly it's dawning on him that love by Arsenal fans of him, because they were all wearing his shirt, singing his name, blah, 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 that is directly proportional to Arsenal's recent results. They will drop you like a fucking hot stone. You know that. So, but I don't think it'll bother Declan Rice because he thinks that way too. He will soon be going to his next club, probably another year or two, be off to Real Madrid, probably with only the Conference League on his CV still. Here's hoping. But anyway, yeah, fuck off. Don't care about Rice anyway. Honestly, who gives a toss? His history. His history. The only reason he got brought up in the conversation relating to West Ham this week is Stuart fucking Pearce, who kind of said he'd done us a favour by staying. No, it was a well-paid favour, wasn't it, Stuart? It wasn't really a favour, mate. Yeah. Let's talk about this week's pricks of the week. And that is, it's going to be joint winners this week, Samuel Allardyce, one of the most ridiculous managers we ever had, who mocked, again, our academy, the academy that he ruthlessly tried to fucking ruin by putting a team of kids against a championship. They were up the top six in the championship, Nottingham Forest team in the FA Cup away. We know what happened. Those kids got destroyed, and a lot of them were released shortly afterwards. He's a piece of shit. Let's face it. The guy is a piece of shit. What he did there can never be forgiven. I can forgive the arrogance of cupping the ear because he's an arrogant man. But when it comes to actually taking the piss, actually just willingly destroying players' careers, he's number one in my book on that. I know the players that played for him loved playing for him, and he was a great man manager and everything else. But my God, if he didn't rate you, or you were young, or you didn't fit the profile, he binned you. That's exactly what David Moyes does. So they've got a lot in common, these old school managers, haven't they? And as for Stuart Pearce, I'm not going to say very much. I'm just going to say, Stuart, mate, you really should know better. That was fucking awful what you did. And I'd like to think you'd come out and apologise for being a fucking wanker. But I know you won't. So this week's joint pricks of the week are Sam Allardyce and Stuart Pearce. Congratulations to you both. So going on to the game tonight, very briefly, we've covered everything so far, the formations and everything else. But how do I think it's going to go? I think personally they're going to hit us on the break. I think they're going to probably copy what Fulham did to us at the weekend and give us the ball, hit us on the break and score an early goal. If I was to put money on it, it's probably what I'd go for. But, if you don't have hope, you don't go to watch football. That is what drives me. I always have hope. And when I go to a game like tonight, I secretly hope for a miracle. You know, I hope something good happens. We're going to be there. We're going to be in full voice. Let's just hope, you know, we can get something. We can get something out of this, and or at least make a game of it and salvage some pride. You know, maybe break their record, whatever. I don't care. But let's just, you know, I go along with that. I go along with that game tonight with an open mind, hope over expectation. But you never know. It's happened before with West Ham. It can happen again. And so, on that happy note, don't look very happy, do I? But on that happy note, enjoy your Thursday. It's very sunny outside. If you're going to the game tonight, you know, I hope you have a good time. And I'll be joining you with my laptop probably shortly before kickoff. Until next time, please subscribe to the channel, Claret and Booze. Give us a like because that helps with the algorithm. I just want to mention one more thing before I go, actually, and that is to do with the support network. So yesterday, Nick covered it on his ramble yesterday, which is linked at the end of this video. It's an absolutely marvellous thing that we've done there. The best thing we've done with this channel so far is it helped to create a free community to support people who are struggling. And what actually happens is it's people come in, they're fragile, they get helped out, they grow, and then they start helping others. And that's exactly, you know, people like Scott, who is absolutely inspiring in our one of our members who makes videos every day to share, and it's just it's incredible stuff. You have to see it. So look, if you need help, please get in touch. Also, if you want to become a member and get access to the same platform that actually we use to fund the support network for free, if you want to do that and help to do that, please join, become a member, and you will get access to those forums. It's an excellent platform. We spent ages, or Nick spent ages, testing different platforms to try and get one that we thought was easy enough to use, clean, nice. And it's superb. It's bloody expensive though. So special thanks to all of you who have joined as members and have allowed us to do this, because it's really a brilliant thing you're doing now. It also allows us to do ad hoc videos. Now we never intended this at all, but you know, like we said we never put anything behind a paywall, and we don't put anything behind a paywall that can be in front of a paywall, right? But what it does give us the ability to do is record videos that are not fit for YouTube, i.e. they've got like copyright material on there or something, because it ain't on YouTube, right? We can just record a video and slap it on. We can show the highlights at the weekend, slap it on, right? We can do anything. But more importantly, we can speak more openly than we would on YouTube. So in a public forum, right? So look, if you don't want to become a member, or you can't afford it or something like that, that's fine. We're fine with that. But please do us a favour and subscribe to the channel, because that is another way of helping us on YouTube, and give the video a like. Until next time, see you soon, and